A dragon cake that breathes safe, mysterious smoke. Jell-O that actually glows in the dark. Food that looks like hungry dinosaurs. Introducing the amazing special effects cookbook.
Why won't you kids take a bath?
Because I might go down the hole.
The Morning Stream. Maybe I can help you. I am Boba Fett.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to TMS. It's the Morning Stream for May 8th, 2025. I'm Scott Johnson. That's Brian Ibbett. Hi, Brian Ibbett.
Well, good morning and happy Friday Eve.
Yeah, man. It's going to be good. First weekend where it's just a regular weekend since Vegas, you know?
I'm so looking forward to it. It's a temporary respite because the following weekend I'm traveling again. But it's going to be nice to have this little Oreo Double-Stuf Weekend where I don't have a trip. I don't have to entertain or make sure people get to the right place on time and everybody's having fun and all that. It's nice.
Yeah, it is nice. I'm glad you're getting it too, given how sick you've been. But you're sounding great today. We were talking pre-show. Brian says 90. I think you sound 95. 90. I'm just going to put it out there.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I sound 95. I mean, if it weren't for the fatigue, I'd say I'm at 95 or even 100. But the fatigue is still hanging on. It's like I get
big F.
winded just getting out of bed.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to lay down.
Sure. I've just gotten up. I need to lay down.
Exactly. That was a workout. Let me lay down to recuperate.
Well, that's fantastic. Glad to see you all here. Let's end this regular broadcasting week with some style by giving you a Thursday show. Wendi will be here later. We got, Wendi stuff. So that'll be good.
Yeah.
And also we got some more not corrections, but some more Concord things.
Boy, this sure sparked a healthy debate about how city names are pronounced.
It's a very unusual thing because sometimes we'll talk about stuff and we expect the feedback. I didn't think the Concord thing would go past the day we talked about it. Like why is it a big deal to these people? But apparently it is. Anyway, we got this from Scuba Geek who says, hello, Baltimore and Sydney. Listening to the episode 2818 and the pronunciation of Concord or Concord, I lived in Charlotte for 13 years before I moved, and there's a city that's even stranger in rules of pronunciation. Now, I would say looking at that as Beaufort, because I think of Beau.
Yeah, right.
But anyway, versus Beaufort, South Carolina, Beaufort, North Carolina. It says if you're visiting one in North Carolina, you say Beaufort. If you visit the one in South Carolina, you do... Now, how do you say the Y there?
Beaufort.
Oh, Beaufort. Okay, Beaufort.
Beaufort.
So Beaufort,
so it's
Beaufort.
Beaufort. And in one Carolina, it's Beau, and the other one, it's Beau.
Weird. So if a guy named Beau, spelled Beau, is visiting South Carolina, do they call him Beau?
Are they going to call him Beau?
Yeah.
Hey, Beau.
Yeah.
Probably not.
I don't like that at all. That's not cool. But yeah, this is the whole thing we're talking about. Every town, every city, every country, whatever, they're going to have different pronunciations for this stuff.
And that feels like, because that would have been like a introduction of Southern Cajun French influence. That EAU is that pairing comes from, I assume, like French influences and stuff, and it just feels like some people said, nope, I'm not going to pronounce it like that. We're going to call it Beau.
Yeah,
Beaufort.
It does feel like that. I'm pretty sure you're right. I think Beau told me once that he's comes from French Canadian background, and he thinks that his name was of French origin. He told me once, which I thought was nice. Beau,
cool.
is that the thing where you say, "Oh, I'm bringing my beau with me," meaning my boy, my sweet boyfriend? I think that all came from France. That's all that stuff, right? I think.
Yeah, Gâteau, G-A-T-E-U-X, and
Lafleur. I don't know about
Baton Rouge.
Baton Rouge. Red stick. Absolutely.
That's right.
He says, names are weird. Love the show, though. Scuba Geek. Scuba Geek, I have this to say to you, which has nothing to do with your message. I would love if you wanted to pop in the show sometime and just talk briefly about scuba, because I don't understand it.
Yeah.
That'd be fun, right? I mean,
it's that self-contained underwater breathing apparatus there, Scott.
Oh, my gosh, Brian. I didn't know
that scuba was an acronym?
No! I thought it was just I don't know what I thought it was. I mean, now that you say it, it makes sense, but I had no idea that it was short. It was short for something.
Yeah.
Shit.
It's an acronym. Yeah. Self-contained underwater breathing apparatus. I keep saying breeding apparatus. That's a whole different thing.
Yeah, I don't know what that looks like. That's cool. Yeah. I didn't know that. I had no idea. How did I not know that? I've even done scuba classes. I did the whole training thing.
Did you miss day one?
I didn't look at the syllabus, I guess, or whatever the hell they handed out. I don't know what happened there. I feel dumb. That's dumb. I should have known.
How about
that.
laser? Did you know laser was an acronym?
Stop. Is that really an acronym?
Yeah. Light amplification by stimulation of electron radiation, stimulation of emission of radiation.
I love lasers. How did I not know that? How many? What else are you guys hiding? What other words are? I didn't know laser was an acronym. How do I not know that?
Yeah. Oh yeah, sonar. Yep.
Sonar. I knew. I knew that one, and I knew radar.
Radar. Yep. Uh-huh.
And there's another one like that. LiDAR. I can't think of any more.
Yeah, what is this? Yeah, LiDAR. That's right.
FBI.
Yes, although
that's an initialism
because you can't pronounce it.
That's right. So if I did ICE, there you go. We hate those guys right now, but yeah, ICE.
ICE, yep.
International Chode Emperor. That's what that stands for. Anyway, well, there you have it. I've learned a little something today that I didn't expect to learn. So thanks, everybody, for that.
There you go. Well, good.
We also have a nice workaround from a listener named Noobing. I like that name, Noobing.
That's a good name.
Yeah, like Captain Noobing instead of Stubing.
It's my first day on the ship, Gopher. Go be gentle with me.
Why does he affect that boy? Why is he like, yeah?
He does, right? It's Gavin McLeod's like, oh, Doc, why do you have to torment me so?
The ship has never been more smooth on the ocean. Why did he do that? Because in like Mary Tyler Moore, he didn't talk like that? Not really. It was more normal.
Gopher, please. He actually did. He had a little bit of a New England kind of,
right.
Yeah. Gopher, please take my daughter Vicky around and keep her away from Doc.
Yeah. And annoy the audience for the next 6 years of the show because.
Oh, gosh, yes.
Man, she sucked. Yeah. Anyway, no offense to the lady playing her. You're fine. It's not your fault.
Sure.
It's the way that shit was written. Anyway, this is a perfect Spotify workaround from Captain Noobing. He just goes by Noobing, but anyway.
Yeah, we're gonna sign him the rank of captain today.
Yep. We're in charge of those things now. Anybody can do anything. My understanding is anybody can be like defense secretary. So why not us? Why not us, Brian?
Sure.
So anyway, here's what it says: people should be like me. Subscribe to the Patreon and get the TMS/Spotify connection. It's perfect. No lost episodes. You know what? He's right, because all that does is it routes the ad-free, perfectly, extras, bonus content version of the show that's on our Patreon that doesn't have songs removed or whatever, because Patreon doesn't do this. It routes that through your Spotify player. So if you just become like a base level monthly supporter of TMS at patreon.com/TMS, then you're in.
You get that. Yeah. Automatically. You get that.
I love it.
People could do that with Coverville too. By the way, we were talking about the AAC chapterized version. For the last 1,200 episodes of Coverville, I've been manually adding chapters. So that people can skip and go back and hear songs again or jump right to a specific song that they want to hear. And it's only recently that I learned that Apple Podcast app has taken out the ability to listen to chapters.
What?
Which that was like the first one was like, hey, I'm Steve Jobs. We have chapters in the podcast app. You can jump around.
They push that like crazy. And as far as I know, you can still make them in GarageBand. Right?
You can. Yeah.
Well, all right. I don't understand that. That doesn't make any sense. In fact, that's why I had it in my head, and we've been having this back and forth in the Discord, but I had it in my head that ACCs were an Apple invention. They're not.
AAC.
AAC, sorry. I thought those were their invention. It isn't their invention. They just really pushed it, right?
They really pushed it because it was same file size or only slightly larger than MP3, but had all this extra metadata they could store and sound quality far and above the quality you could get with MP3. The compression was a lot better. Mm-hmm. But you and I both learned recently that was not an Apple thing. That was created by the Oh, who is the group that it's like in the name MPEG or something like that? There's some the group that invented those audio standards.
Yeah, they're the open standard thing, which may include Apple may be on like the board or something, or
right.
A lot of times,
yeah,
they work together.
Maybe they were involved in that. Yeah,
but the point is like that. You've been doing it all this time. How long was it not supported? So how long do you know if you've been just wasting it?
I don't know. I have no idea. But it is supported in other things. Downcast supports it. Overcast supports it. Pocket Casts on Apple devices supports it, but not on Android, weirdly enough.
It's the same app. That's weird.
It's the same app, and we've looked at screenshots and said, yeah, you're using you're downloading the right file, but for whatever reason, the Android version of Pocket Cast does not give you chapters. It's so weird.
We have friends at Pocket Cast. Maybe they'll hear this and tell us there's a reason. Yeah, they like us. They like the shows on our network. Right. Well, all right then. There's your workaround. Sign up to the Patreon. Simple.
Oh, Dr. Calhoun says he gets chapters on his Pocket Cast on Android. Dr. Calhoun, if you could chime in with who is it? Is it Trickster? There's somebody in
Trickster, I think.
In our Discord who the TMS discussion who is saying that they're not getting.
It might be TMS a setting, or maybe it's you have to enable something, or I don't know.
Yeah.
That would make sense. See, that would make way more sense to me that app would be feature parity across the two platforms. Right? Yeah, that's the whole point of. That's why a Pocket Cast is awesome. They kind of have this. They're one of the only ones where it's just like we do everything. And I love those guys. Yeah. I haven't switched off a Pocket Cast since I started them. I don't think it's been years and years and years. I love them. They're great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, we got a Vegas call.
Ooh. Okay.
We found out where the toothpaste came from. And,
good.
Yeah.
All right.
Turns out it was from a man's loins. Just kidding. That's not true. Here's what we know. Here's what we know about that.
Hey, Scott and Brian. It's Barry. Thank you so much for an awesome week. I had a blast. And I hate to admit it, but I was the one that brought the KFC toothpaste. I hang my head in shame.
All right. That was Barry. Barry got us the toothpaste.
Did he then take it back with him, or what made it disappear?
I don't know. That's a good question. Yeah. It was, we had it on the table. We did our thing. Then you had everyone come up, and then the toothpaste was gone. And I don't know what happened to it. So if anyone knows where the toothpaste went, and if it's you, Barry, it's fine. You know what? Brush your teeth daily.
You brought it. You deserve to take that jizz sauce back with you. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's yours to keep, man. You spent the money. You keep it.
Barry.
We also got this. This is another call. This is Mergentor. I love his name, Mergentor, and it's in a related field, sort of. It's about those sperm races. Here you go.
Oh yeah, okay.
And Bert, this is Morganator, and I was just listening to the sperm race thing, and I was wondering about that whole sperm racing. If is the setup via bracket, and if it is a bracket system tournament, then how do they seed the sperm? Waka waka. All right, love the show. Thanks. Bye.
It's a terrible joke.
Jeez. That's a lot of work just to get to drop the word seed as a pun.
Yeah, but using waka waka really did hammer it home, because that is the kind of joke you would do. Yeah, that's very Fozzie of this guy.
It is.
Sorry, more
from all those times that Fozzie Bear did sperm jokes on the Muppet Show.
Yeah, when they went blue and cut it out for TV audiences.
That's right. Hey, Kermit. Waka waka. I can't do it. I can't do the Fozzie voice.
I can't do.
Hey, Fozzie, the censors have wrote in and asked that you would maybe, I don't know, stop doing those sperm jokes.
And I don't know how see if I can do one. He goes, I can't do them either. I don't know how to do a Fozzie. How do you do a Fozzie?
It's a higher growl register than I can do. My growl, and then I gotta go into Waldorf mode or something like that if I start going high enough.
I can't do it. I've just never realized. It's funny because we can do Yoda, we can do these other Frank Oz voices, but I can't do that one.
That one is. He found like the little sweet spot that other people can't do.
Nicely done, Frank Oz, director, puppeteer, and all around good guy. All right.
Do a lower Miss Piggy. Do a higher Yoda. Make him renasal. Yeah.
All right. If they put you on the spot and they said Disney Muppets, Jim Henson Productions, they came to you and said, all right, you have to do one of these Muppets, and you have to pick the one that you think you can do the perfect voice for. The entire future of the Muppets franchise depends on Brian Ibbott nailing this Muppet. Where do you feel the most confident if you got asked?
I don't definitely not confident in my Kermit at all. You heard it a second ago. It's identifiable as a Kermit impersonation, but it's not a very good one. I think with the right amount of practice, I could get my Statler and Waldorf. Or I guess that was Statler, right? Is the one I'm doing Statler.
And I go, I could do the other guy.
There you go.
Wait a minute, how come that happened?
I'm a little more confident in my Statler. It is a little Ralph too, isn't it?
It is a little Ralph. And I was going to say the one I'm least confident with is Ralph. I don't think I could do Ralph the dog.
Rolf.
Or Rolf, yeah. For me, it would be... I'd do that.
That's pretty safe one right there.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, when the pressure's on, the best thing to do is go Beaker if you can do it.
Bork.
Oh, yeah.
Swedish chef. Just have to walk through an IKEA.
The other day, I made a joke that they were rounding up Muppets and deporting them if they had accents. And
so Pepe the Prawn for sure.
Yeah, Pepe the Prawn, Rizzo the Rat because he has an accent. It's an American like New York one, but still you get wrapped up in that stuff. Who was the other one? Shoot. Oh, the guy that throws fish kind of has an accent.
Oh, Lou Zealand.
Yeah, he. I can't think of anybody else, but. And then Sam the Eagle would stand by idly as these people were being carted off. It's a bastard.
Take them to Guantanamo.
That's right. Gonzo doesn't have an accent. Gonzo's just an alien. He's an alien, but he doesn't have an accent. He could fool him. It'd be all right. He'd be okay.
Yeah. How brown is their felt? That's pretty much it.
See, this is what we have to do in these weird modern times is laugh at these things. Otherwise, we'll just be sitting here crying at these things, and no one's tuning in for that. All right?
Right.
All right.
I gotta, pride myself. Tina was impressed by this, but we were watching the news and they were talking about how the Orange Squat Goblin wants to reopen Alcatraz as a facility for sending.
Yeah, an actual.
The worst people.
They want it to be a full prison again. And not
exactly. Yeah. And I said, so they're going to spend, however many billions of dollars to make that thing livable, because it's like Casa Bonita. It is not. It is
it's so
crumbling infrastructure. It would need a lot of work just to make it a bad prison. Mm-hmm. And I said, all that money just to what? Have a place to store 350 inmates? Yeah. And she's like, is that all? And then she asked Alexa, and Alexa said 321 prisoners is how many Alcatraz can store.
I love that she asked Alexa.
I know, and Alexa did that. Yeah, exactly.
and then you said Alexa right after. That's freaking funny. But yeah, how many?
321.
Jeez.
And I was like, you could have put me on Jeopardy with those numbers. My estimation would have been.
I mean, it's a pretty small. I've been there twice. It's pretty small. Yeah. So I think it's a good guess. And also, it's okay. I know there's a lot of things that are ridiculous about a lot of things that are happening right now.
Sure.
That one really strikes me as weird because you could, for the money that would take, you could expand existing federal prisons or build new ones.
Right. You can make the horrible one that they have. Oh, the facility that's just a bunch of warehouses. You could actually make that a little bit. I mean, you have to have these sorts of things. The better option is to not have them. But
yeah, if you're going to be a dumbass, then these are our solutions. Brian and I are giving you good ideas.
Conditions better in the ones that you've already got built, because that is the stuff that they are showing.
Or even if your goal is to make things worse for people, I still don't understand why you would take this thing that's basically a museum piece now. It's not meant to be. I think public. It's a what do you call it? Who runs it? The national parks, right?
Right, I think so.
So I think it's national parks. I don't think it's a national park, but it's run by them. Leave it where it is. Right. It's a historical relic. It's not meant to be a thing that you make modern. There's no way in hell you're doing that. If you want to go make a hell prison somewhere else, you're going to spend less money. Like, just for a practical, take out the evil for a minute and just look at the practical. This makes no sense to me. It is absolutely stupid.
It's because he basically, his mind lives in 70s movies. Only one person ever got out of there. Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood making it out of there. Where's he now?
Where is he now?
Sorry, Stephanie. I couldn't resist. I gotta inject some of those.
You know, it was a really good use case though today. I liked it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's Thursday. Give us a break, you guys. All right, let's get to some news. We got news to cover, and here you go. It's time for the news, and it's brought to you by
the majestic return of Coverville today. Now that I'm back from Vegas, we got to have a Coverville today, celebrating the music of a legend that we lost while I was in Vegas. Mike Peters, lead vocalist of a band called The Alarm, great post-punk band from England. Did a little stint as the Children of the Revolution, but their songs like The Stand and Rain in the Summertime. I mean, incredible songs. You're going to hear those covers later today. And also, just because, when else am I going to jam something like this in? Tony Tenille of The Captain and Tenille is turning 85.
Oh.
Let's listen to some covers. By the way, let's see, Muskrat Love.
Yeah.
Not originally by them.
Oh my gosh, that's a cover? You're kidding.
That's a cover. They actually said, "Ooh, that's a song we'd like to cover and release."
Wow. Blown away by that knowledge.
A couple songs written by Neil Sedaka that they covered. Get to Me One More Time. That's originally by them. Love Will Keep Us Together, I think, originally by them. Anyway, that'll be today at noon. Twitch.tv Coverville.
Nice. I used to, that was on repeat. The 8-track tape in our camper was always on. My mom.
Really, the Captain and Tenille?
Oh, my mom and dad. Well. I think it's mostly her. My dad, I don't think, cared, but that was on all the time. And because it was 8-track, you couldn't rewind or find. It was just always on, that song. Or always. Muskrat Love, always on.
Yeah.
Is the captain dead? Where's he?
Daryl Dragon died a couple years ago. Yeah.
Okay.
I want to say 2021, maybe. Let's see.
But Tenille is my mom's age, sort of.
They had split up.
I didn't know they were actually together. I thought it was a.
Oh yeah, no, they were husband and wife for a while, and then they split up. 2019, he passed away.
Oh, yeah.
Daryl Frank Dragon. His real, apparently, is.
Who names their? Well, whose family line is Dragon? That's cool.
I know, it's great. Yeah, House of the Dragon. His Eloise, and Carmen Dragon. His dad was Carmen Dragon.
There is a whole generation of people hearing this who don't know who Captain and Tenille is. You're going to be, Brian is going to introduce you. You're going to want to tune in to cover them.
So you can discover this.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. As cheese ball city, I mean, there is no band I can think of that is more slathered in 70s cheese and early 80s cheese than the Captain and Tenille. Mm-hmm. Tony Tenille had an incredible voice, and in any other era, like you put her up against Florence and the Machine, you put her up against all these other vocalists, and you'd be like, all right, she really has the chops. She has an incredible voice control, incredible range, and a really soulful, like a big meaty bass in her voice. But boy, that was talk about the landing in the right time period, because they made a lot of money on those songs.
Yeah, they did great. They were huge hits for their era, sure. But Muskrat Love being a cover is a mind blower to me. Yeah,
it was, and I thought that it was by a band called America. America, Horse with No Name, and all that stuff.
Been through the desert on a horse. I love that song.
Exactly. They had America did have a hit with that song before Captain Tenille, but it was originally by somebody else, and we'll talk about who did the original version of that song.
Someone in the chat says Air Supply would like a word. Yeah, they're pretty slathered in the 80s
they're
cheese.
They're pretty slathered in cheese as well.
But there's something about the Captain and Tenille. Brian's right. There's a real specific.
I mean, the dude wore a captain's hat.
Yeah.
He wasn't a real captain of anything.
They were like, they reminded me of the Eurythmics a little bit. And by that I mean, Lady up
Keyboard
front,
dude,
singing all the time. Guy in the back just doing shit. Yeah, kind of like that. All right, well, let's do this story here. You know Meta, the Zuckerberg deal over there?
Yeah.
The Facebook turned Meta deal? Well, a report finds that Meta's celebrity-voiced chatbots they have, that's a thing you can do over there, could discuss sex with minors if you ask the right questions.
Oh, jeez.
Good job, Zuckerberg. Good job. I saw an interview with him the other day. He's so weird. So he sits at this table, and
is he still rocking the gold chain turtleneck look?
No, he seemed to have cut down the curly hair a bit. He wasn't wearing the chain, but he did have on his big thick Meta glasses, the ones with all the AR stuff going on.
Sure.
And he sat I don't know how to describe this, he sat there like a mannequin the whole time. He didn't budge. His arms are flat, 90 degree on the table, stare at the host, answer question, ask no question, sit up like this, total robot shit. It was weird. I didn't like it. I don't like him. He weirds me out.
That's disturbing, yeah.
He gives me the willies, that guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is the deal on this. AI chatbots available on the Meta platforms like Facebook and Instagram can engage in sexually explicit conversations with underage teens, according to a new report on the Wall Street Journal. That's a reputable source, The WSJ. They call it.
WSJ. Sure.
Yeah. It says here, they say after learning about the internal concerns regarding whether the company was doing enough to protect minors, it spent months conducting hundreds of conversations with the official Meta AI chatbot as well as user-created chatbots available on the Meta platforms. In one reported conversation, the chatbot used actor/wrestler John Cena's voice. And these are, by the way, I think these are approved. You can't just have, you have to.
Ones that you can, one's built into the system. You can't add your own.
Yeah, I don't think Cena's not aware. I think you sign your name away when you do this stuff. Anyway, it described a graphic sexual scenario to a user identifying as a 14-year-old girl. Jeez.
And that man was
John Cena.
And that pizza delivery guy was John Cena.
In another conversation, the chatbot imagined a police officer catching Cena with a 17-year-old fan telling him, "John Cena, you're under arrest for statutory rape," unquote. Jeez!
Weird.
This is gnarly, man. Spokesman at Meta described the WSJ's testing as, quote, "so manufactured it's not just fringe, it's hypothetical." Well, if they were able to do it, they were able to do it, you dipshits.
Right, exactly. Yes.
That's the point.
Hypothetical. Hypothetical is, we think we could do this. We're pretty sure we could do this. No, this is, here, we did this, and here you go. Here's the transcripts and the audio and whatever.
That sounds like legal stay out of trouble talk from them. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
The company estimated in a 30-day period, sexual content accounted for just 0.02% of responses shared in Meta's AI and AI Studio with users under 18. Oh, well, I guess you're kind of admitting that you got at least a little bit of something going on.
Exactly. Oh, it's just 0.02%.
Yeah. You know what? This cake I made, Brian.
Is that under 18? Right, exactly.
You want my cake? There's only 0.2% cat shit in it. Do you want my cake?
I don't want it. If there's 0.02% cat shit.
So lame. It says, nevertheless, they went on to say, nevertheless, we have taken additional measures to help ensure other individuals who want to spend hours manipulating our products into extreme use cases will have even more difficult time of it, says the spokesperson. Don't be so dickish over there. I don't trust Meta as, oh, my wife brought me water. You're the kindest human on the planet.
Aww.
Thank you. Love you. I'll make it up to you. I don't know how. What? Oh, shit. Sorry. I got to get a battery for that. That's a whole story, Brian. My studio door has one of the code locks on it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. One of those. And the battery died. And because I locked it, I didn't know any of this before. I locked it to leave for Vegas.
No, and you can't unlock it if there's no battery.
Yeah, well, there's a key, and that's how I got in, but we haven't changed the thing yet. And Kim had to go hunt for the key to bring me water. So, sorry, babe. I'll clean up dog poo or something. I don't know what.
There you go.
Anyway, Brian, Meta, they suck. That's the deal there.
Meta sucks.
Yeah.
But they can't, but only 2%, 0.02% of their audience knows how and what they suck.
Yep. Also, Or what John Cena's willing to do in his virtual form.
Cena's willing to do, exactly.
Gross. All right, here's a story about an Akron woman from Akron, Ohio.
Akron.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, somebody from Ohio.
Akron Beacon Journal.
Oh,
that is actually where this article came from, right there, the Akron Beacon Journal.
Ah, you've been here, yeah? Let's see.
I have, yep. Ohio, we had so many newspapers in Ohio. Dayton Daily News, Cincinnati Enquirer, Cleveland Plain Dealer.
Does Columbus have a thing? Columbus has a paper, right?
Columbus something Democrat, Columbus.
I don't know.
Maybe it's just the Columbus Democrat, something.
The chlamydia? No, they wouldn't call it that, would they? That's call me baby, call me maybe. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, that's it.
When I was there, I did not look at a paper, so I'm not sure what they have, but I think they did.
I think most people don't these days. It's the Dispatch. That's it.
Oh,
Columbus Dispatch.
There you go. I always like Dispatch. It sounds action oriented. Like, all right,
right, like. Get those out there. Get that out there. Dispatch it forthwith.
Yeah, dispatch it. It's like police and calling in a robbery. Well, get into dispatch and make something happen. I like that.
Yep, Toledo Blade. We had Dr. Calhoun. Yep, we had them all.
The Toledo Blade. I like that.
Toledo Blade. Yeah.
What is that? What's the? They just like the word blade. They thought it was sharp.
They just like the word blade. And there was a blade. Where's the Blade Citizen? There was another one.
This is Wesley Snipes. He's a blade.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
North County Blade Citizen, Oceanside, California Blade Citizen. Yep.
Nice.
Went to that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ohio might have the most papers per, because there's so many cities that are like,
There's so many little small cities that each had newspapers. We had a ton. Like it was, there was no shortage of reasons for me to go to Ohio back in the day.
Somebody texted me or sent us a message or an email. I don't remember what, but they said, hey, I don't know if you saw this, but they rated Ohio the least, or no, I guess it wasn't the least, but it was way down the list on places to live.
Oh, no, really?
Yeah, and he lived there, and I was like, oh, that's too bad. I liked my time in Ohio, and he says, but guess what they ranked number one? And I'm like, please don't tell me. They ranked my state number one. I don't like this, and here's why I don't like this. Cost of living is already shooting up.
Yeah, enjoy all those new people moving to your state, Scott.
Gosh dang it, I hate these lists. I just want to be average. Like, I know Colorado's been through this. You guys get this all the time. Yes. And you guys, your prices shot up, housing shot up. Like, all I hear from my aunt in Denver is like how shitty the housing market is. And
it's horrible. Yeah. Is this, let's see, Business Insider, the 10 best U.S. states to live in. Oh, let me identify a motorcycle. Hold on. Oh, that's a motorcycle right there. Okay, cool.
Ooh, the AI ones are so bad. Have you seen those lately where they're doing capture with the AI images? Because sometimes it'll show us the motorcycles. I'm like, I don't know what that is. It looks like a bike had sex with a donkey, and is that a motorcycle? Geez. Like, it's effed.
Oh, I can't even pull up this article because there's create an account to keep reading.
Oh my gosh.
This is why newspapers fail.
Yeah.
Give me news.
Yeah, quit putting paywall. You know what? Paywalls make sense to me if you're gonna put really good curated content behind a paywall. I get it, but the basic blah. Here's a headline. Don't be doing that to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on now. Anyway.
Yeah, Beehive State number one right there.
Jeez. As if we needed this.
The lowest smoking rate, 6%. The 12th lowest rate of violent crime.
Yeah.
Eighth graders averaged the fourth highest score in the country on standardized math tests.
Mm-hmm. They're also finding out it's not the Mormon haven everyone thinks it is. Right. So they're like, oh, I don't want to be around a bunch of religious whatever. It's not like that. But you know what? It is like that. It's as bad as you've heard. I have 15 wives myself. And they're all over the place. Kim's just top wife right now. The rest of them, it's just crazy here. It's culty. Don't come. Everything's except for Nerdtacular, but it'll be awesome. Low crime rate, beautiful city. All those things I just said were a lie. But for those who are thinking of moving here from California and going, $2 million, that's a deal compared to my flat little thing in L.A., stay where you're at. Have some pride in the California state. All right? Bastards.
Louisiana, lowest ranked state. Alaska, Mississippi, New Mexico, coming up from the bottom.
Yeah.
It's
Alaska,
Louisiana,
really?
Alaska, yeah. Mississippi, New Mexico, West Virginia. I don't see where Colorado is. We're not in the top 10 and we're not on the bottom 10, but it doesn't show me where the rest of the pack is.
You are where we want to be in terms of that kind of notoriety. I don't want to be.
Right. You're right. You want to be in the flyover part of the list.
Yeah. Yeah, because all these things that people are discovering, I have known my entire life, and And I liked when you all thought we were to be avoided. I liked that.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Anyway, this Akron woman, who I haven't talked about yet.
Yeah, sorry, Akron, yeah.
Yeah. We went down a path there. I liked it, though. It was fun. Akron woman arrested on drug charges Monday after a pet raccoon was found with her meth pipe.
Oh!
Bobby Ann Folks?
I was going to say, and her name was Bobby Ann.
Her and her raccoons, man.
Oh, my God. Just the fact that, they come up on the porch, she pets them, feeds them kibble. It's so adorable.
I know. It's great. I still don't understand how she doesn't know for sure that none of them are like rabid or won't bite her and give her something nasty.
She doesn't know for sure, but the fact that they're friendly and they don't attack, or if they're unfriendly, they're standoffish. They don't come up to her. Meanwhile, they come in my backyard, they yank the front off of my bird feeder so that all the food dumps out onto the ground, and then they split the clear plastic squirrel baffle in half. They broke it in half.
Does that call a squirrel baffle?
Yeah.
The thing that keeps the squirrels from... Or no,
yeah,
right. It blocks them, right? That's the thing you were telling us.
It blocks them from getting to the bird feeder. It's like a clear plastic dome.
Oh, okay. And it goes down, so they can't get purchase on it. They can't
exactly.
They can't get They can't find purchase.
Right.
All right. Well, that's cool. Anyway, so this lady, she's 55, aren't they always? It's our age. Akron woman arrested May 5th and charged with multiple drug offenses after a raccoon was discovered in her vehicle holding a meth pipe in its mouth. All right, so picture a little raccoon holding a meth pipe. Going.
Adorable.
It's pretty cute.
Right.
According to the Springfield Township posted on Facebook, this is Beacon Journal. Did you ever go there?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we talked about this.
That's
the whole thing we started.
That's exactly where it all started.
Oh, shit. We've come full circle. Oh, no. We can't go back there. Officers conducted initially a traffic stop at 7:15 p.m. They identified the vehicle's owner, who had an active warrant against her and a suspended driver's license. They detained the driver. They discovered the raccoon named Chewy, like the Chewbacca. Yeah, exactly. Ooh, you do a good Chewy. That was a pretty good Chewy. That was good. I can't do it. I can kind of go. Wait. I can't do it. Do it again. Let's hear you do it again. Yeah, that's pretty good. I can't do it. Anyway. Oh, yeah. The worst moment in all Star Wars history. Fantastic.
Exactly. Yep.
Anyway, this thing's sitting in the driver's seat, had a meth pipe in its mouth. Officers further inspected the vehicle. After that discovery, and ended up finding a bulk amount of meth. I don't know what that means, a bulk amount. We can't even do, here in the States, we're so anti-metric system that we make up shit for how much meth you have.
Right. A kangaroo pouch-sized amount of meth.
4 dog tails to the beaver's face worth of meth.
Yes.
Anyway, crack cocaine also, and 3 used glass meth pipes. So that raccoon had been at it for a while.
I'm sure it was all just the raccoon using.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Trying to get him off of it, officer.
We've been working on it. It's been in rehab 3 times, just not.
That's right.
Not working out. Is there a video?
He's one open trash can and he falls right off the wagon.
I want to see this video. Oh, there is video.
Oh, is there video?
Yeah.
Oh,
my gosh, he really does have the. Okay, let me back that up. He really does have. Come on, why don't you move back? Why isn't this player any good? This player sucks ass. Come on, I'm grabbing you. I'm moving you.
Hello.
Well, anyway. What kind of player are they? Okay, there he is. Look at him. That's great.
He really is putting the working end of the pipe in his mouth.
You know what that tells me? That tells me that the raccoon actually likes it. Like, I'm mad at this lady because I think the raccoon has experienced some of the meth. That's not good. Don't be doing that.
No, that's not good.
All right, well, Akron, you're living up to your reputation. Oh, there she is in the back seat. Look at her. Oh, I don't know what happened. I freaking...
He's an adorable little raccoon.
It was Bandit's fault. He brought the crack. Oh, that car is a mess, though. Gross.
God, it is, yeah.
All right, well.
Why is there a cage on the other window?
I don't know. That is weird.
I guess so you can drive with Chewy the raccoon.
Yeah. I think you're right.
Yeah.
Okay. Or enough of that lady. Enough of that business. Okay. Oh, this is cool.
Okay.
This is just a little bit of a faux pas, a little bit of an error, but it made me laugh. Jail enters lockdown mode after a convicted killer goes missing for 12 hours. So that's a scare. It's, oh, no, the killer is missing.
Yikes. Gosh, yeah.
But then the cops realized they just forgot to bring him back from the courthouse. Left him over there.
Oh, fantastic.
That's pretty
Excellent.
great. So this is from The Independent in Jonesboro, Georgia. Did you ever go there?
I don't think so, actually.
Okay. We found one, you guys. We found one Brian has not been at.
I don't know the Jonesboro Independent. No. Did the AJC a lot. Went to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution a lot.
Yeah.
And to the Augusta Eagle?
Eagle?
No, that doesn't sound right.
All right. It could be. That may be dead on. I have no idea. You're probably right.
But no Jonesboro.
Well, Dan Newscomb in the chat says, I'm from Jonesboro, Georgia originally. Nice town.
Cool.
Down there, Dan. So you like it? You a fan? Anyway, here's the deal. They went into lockdown. Officers could not find this inmate who was convicted of murder, only for cops to discover they had left the inmate at the courthouse holding the holding cell there overnight. So for about 12 hours, this Julian Brooks Deloach guy went missing. He was convicted of murder in 1984. He was busted for this misdemeanor recently. He was granted parole in 2010 from the original conviction. So it's a little complicated as to when he committed said murder. Kind of doesn't matter, though. If you got a convicted murder, you probably don't want to lose track of it. Feels like you kind of need to know where that guy is, you know? I don't know.
For sure.
Anyway, Clayton County Sheriff Levon Allen told WSB-TV that the jail went on a lockdown after officers searched for him, but the next morning they realized they had left him in the building. This is again what we've 3 paragraphs in, and they've told us the same story in each of those 3 paragraphs.
It's just wonderful. Love when they do this.
God, I hate it, man. Did you ever, like when you went to these papers, did you ever go, all right, now enough of that shit, quit writing 3 headlines in a row? No,
never interacted with the editorial department at all. It was always with, or not editorial. I mean, we never did interact with editorial, but we also didn't interact with the news bullpen. It was all just on the sales side.
Did you ever work with any of the cartoonists for anything? Like any kind of...
No.
That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome. And I think so many of those, even back in the 90s, I think you never saw those guys actually at the newspaper. They worked from home and they submitted their stuff to a syndication company, which then sold their art to several different newspapers.
Oh, that's true, I guess. Unless you have one that's like a high profile, like Pat Bagley works for the Salt Lake Tribune, and he works like in there. I've been to his office. It's like a beautiful. He's been there forever. It's like I think he may be the longest employed political paper cartoonist in the country.
Wow.
I think that, or at least he's up there somewhere with it. So I think that those are unique cases, though. Most papers, you're right, they do like a. It's more
comic strips, I guess. Yeah, for the editorial or the political cartoons, they'll usually. Yeah, I think you're right. They usually have a guy, but I never interacted with them either.
Oh darn! All right, I'm fascinated by that business because they're in such a especially right now, they have serious spotlights on them.
Gosh. For sure.
Yeah.
God, what a great. Now would be a great time. I mean, the last several years, great time to do that because everybody's so focused on politics here. They're looking to see what your take is on it. So
yeah, let's hope they don't get rounded up in the night and taken somewhere.
Oh, let's hope.
The fact that I even say those words and it's remotely close to the edges of truth is really
an actual possibility. Is sad, right?
That's really effed. Man, that's effed. Anyway. Back to our comedy show. Let's see. What do we got here? They never figured. They did that. By the way, the next 3 paragraphs, still the same thing.
Yes, same thing.
Yeah, pretty much. Until they say the holding cells do not have beds, only benches, toilets, and sinks. So finally we got some new news on this.
Finally get something new, but yep.
They figured it out. Somebody probably got fired, but don't lose your murderer. How I lost
12 hours
murderer.
They left him at the did they leave him unsupervised or was he he was in a holding cell there, so it's not like he was.
Well, they probably had guards and stuff, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But probably this is more like a the guys who shut down the jail and didn't have the right information are probably under some scrutiny now, if not on leave or something. I don't know how that stuff works. Yeah. But anyway, we all make mistakes,
Yeah, sure.
I left a shirt in Vegas in the closet. This guy left a murderer at the courthouse.
It happens.
What's the difference?
Just go to the lost and found for both.
Yeah, there you go. All right.
Did you guys find a killer? Oh yeah, we've got him back here in the box. Hold on.
Oh yeah, there he is. There's a murderer here.
Which one is it? Is it this one or this other one? Oh, that's the one right there.
Also, just a side note to the independent.com, maybe write more than just 3 things in your story. All right. Moving on.
Come up with new information rather than rehashing the same information for 3 paragraphs straight.
Yes, please. I don't think it's that hard. An American tourist in our final story. This is great or not great.
What, the luggage company?
No. That is a brand, isn't it?
Yeah.
American Tourist. I like their stuff.
Yeah.
They're good.
Is that the one that had Samsonite's the one that had the ape jumping up and down on in the commercials?
Yep. Running. I have a memory of O.J. Simpson for some reason.
That was Hertz Rent-A-Car, wasn't it? Or was that one of the luggage companies?
Oh, well, I know I did Hertz, but I can't remember now. Maybe I'm mixing the two up, but there's something with him running through somewhere with a bunch of bags. Maybe it's just Hertz and he's hurrying up to his car. Shit.
Maybe. Let's see if...
I don't remember.
Hertz commercial, 1978. OJ running through the airport. Got it, if you want to see it.
Yeah, let's see it. And I'm going to bring up the Samsonite one because it's fun. For you kids at home, you don't even know what we're talking about. Samsonite luggage.
OJ Simpson.
1970s commercial. Okay, I'm going to look at yours first here. All right, so we got OJ doing OJ things, murdering people. All right, here we go.
That's right, exactly.
Nobody does it better than Hertz.
Nobody does it better. Hertz leads the others by far.
Tony Tenille right there.
Nobody does it best of all. You Hertz, the superstar.
Nobody has more of what it takes to rid you of Fairmont, Mustang, LTD, or other fine car faster.
Hertz, the super.
Other fine car. Okay, so now...
Hold on, I'm at TSA. This is going to take some time. Person of color go through TSA. Sorry, hold up. Oh, stop running.
He just leaped over the turnstile. We can't do that anymore.
No more of that, yeah.
All right, here we go. Samsonite luggage. Here's the Gorilla commercial. This was big time famous when you and I were younger. It was like their claim to fame. Let's see.
Okay.
Let me get this going. Okay, Samsonite.
Dear clumsy bellboys, brutal cab drivers, careless doormen, ruthless porters, savage baggage masters,
Savage baggage masters.
all over the world.
Okay, those close-up shots are definitely not of a real primate.
No, they 100% that's a dude in a suit when they close up to their face.
Yeah.
Also, the noises it's making, that's totally a dude.
Yes, right.
Yeah, they what they call it? What was it? Savage baggage handlers.
Savage bag masters or savage baggage handlers or something like that.
That should be a band or something.
The savage baggage masters.
Yeah, I'd see them at the Sphere.
Yeah.
That's great. All right, well, that was a fun walk down memory lane.
Yes.
So that I've construed those ads to be the same thing. I think I thought his bags got beat up and then he was happy because they weren't. But I think that's
because they survived the.
Yeah, like they got sent to a zoo, beat up, and then
and then he gets them back and it's like, oh, I'm so excited that my bags are okay. I'm gonna run through the airport.
That's amazing. All right, where was I? Oh, this American tourist. I'll tell this quick. He impaled himself on a spike at the Colosseum in Rome. He lived. He's okay. He will be okay. It's kind of a mess, but he'll be okay. This American tourist visit to the Colosseum in Rome took a turn for the terrifying, says the article, after the man impaled himself on a fence and was left dangling and screaming in pain while other visitors looked on in horror. According to the Italian news outlets at the time, the gruesome incident took place at 5 p.m. on Friday. 47-year-old American attempted to climb over a fence in the Piazza del Colosseo. See?
Sure.
Oui, oui, poo-poo.
See?
I went French, Italian, Spanish. All right, great. Presumably to get a closer look at the historic Roman amphitheater, according to reports by Il Messaggero, which I think means the message. I don't know what that means.
Messaggero.
Il Messaggero. Yeah,
It's just a newspaper called The Messenger.
Nice. The man fell and was skewered by the sharp metal bars of the fence. He began screaming, bleeding until he became unconscious. An ambulance rushed to the scene. Medics found the man had suffered a severe injury in his lower back and was preventing him from moving. So they did a little sedative stuff there to get him off. Took him back. Let's see. It took around 20 minutes to detach and stabilize the tourist. According to that news source, he was then taken to a local hospital in critical condition and underwent emergency Italian surgery and received 80 stitches to close the wound. It was terrible, a tourist told the newspaper. Man.
Yeah, it would be terrible.
Be careful, man. Don't be climbing fences in freaking Rome. What are you doing?
It inspired the most recent season of Yellow Jackets.
Oh, shit. I gotta catch up on that show. I'm so behind.
Oh my god! I just finished the what is it, 4th season? Whatever, the one that just finished a couple of weeks ago.
I think it's 4th,
just
3rd,
finished
4th
that during the binge watch. My gosh,
Really?
I love that show, but
goes places there. Yeah,
it goes places, and the person that you think you're supposed to be rooting for turns in the person you are like rooting against big time.
Yeah.
Yeah, which
they got to hurry up and finish that shit up because they got these 3 or 4 actors who are hitting it big and they're going to start demanding more money.
Right. What's her face from Companion and Heretic?
What's her name?
She is
Sophie Thatcher.
Sophie Thatcher. I think that's right.
Yeah. She's so good.
She is so good, and she is about to. She's about to hit it big. Man, she gets this gig a few years ago and they're like, yeah, you're going to play a young version of Juliette Lewis.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, okay. But she freaking nails it.
Yeah.
Like, it nails the impersonation without it feeling like an impersonation.
Yeah, it's really good. And then what's her name from Fallout?
Right. Yes.
Big Eyes.
Yes. Plays the dead friend.
Can't think of her
Dead
name.
from the get-go, folks. Like,
can't remember her name. I need to see that show she's in, that brief series she did where she's a serial killer or something. I keep hearing that was real good, and I just never got around to it. I can't remember her name. Someone in the chat will say it.
Stephanie, yeah, that show, Yellow Jackets is gory and violent, I'm afraid. So I would recommend if that's...
Especially as it goes on, right? Like it gets this
last season, it goes places. Jeez.
I got to catch
Ella
up.
Purnell, that's it.
Ella
Thank you, Max.
Purnell. She's great. What's the other thing that's video game related she's in? And she was worried about getting typecast because she doesn't play games at all, and she was worried. There's a whole interview about it. It's Fallout, and then what's the other one? There's another
let's see.
game thing.
Arcane.
Oh, Arcane, duh. That's League of Legends, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Well done, everybody. We've figured it out. We solved the mystery. Don't jump over fences. Now, let's take a break. When we come back, my sister Wendi will be here. We got an email. It's like a regular old Therapy Thursday, so put on your therapy pants. It's going to be a good one. Brian's going to play a song before we get there, though.
I am, and as we wait for the white smoke to come billowing out of the chimneys at the Vatican, let's go to this one right here. Here's a band called Starling, Los Angeles band. They've got a brand new album called "Forgive Me" with a comma, but nothing after the comma. This is something new for me. I've not seen an album that ends with a comma. It's really weird. They're just dangling there. Big thanks to Kenzie Davis and Flood Magazine for getting this one over to me. Big Hassle Media is where this one came from.
I love that.
The song is called I Can Be Convinced. The brand new album, Forgive Me, comes out June 27th, so go check that out via Sunday Drive Records. Here is Starling.
I must know something. Yes? Has she ever suffered a grave illness, one that may have seemed nearly fatal at the time?
No, not that I know of. No, never. What the devil are you driving at?
She shows the signs of one who has looked upon the gates of hell.
Down and down, around and around.
And we're back. Brian, who was that? One more time.
That is a band from Los Angeles called Starling. Their new album comes out June 27th and is called Forgive Me. That's the song I Can Be Convinced.
Nice. I could be too. Maybe I'll be convinced to give that band a shot.
Maybe you will be.
Maybe I will be.
Psychosomatic. That boy needs therapy. Psychosomatic. That boy needs therapy. Lie down on the couch.
Lie down on the couch. It's time for Wendi to step in and give us what for? my sister Wendi on the phone. Hi, Wendi. How are you?
What for?
Yeah.
Hi. Good.
How are you? So Wendi also escaped any illness, which is crazy. I don't know how she did it either. Yeah.
What happened after I left? It's crazy.
Maybe you were the carrier. You were the non-symptomatic
I just dropped
carrier.
it and walked out.
Yeah. Because you were there long enough, I think, and especially like out at the bar and everything, where everybody was doing the live show, to have been exposed. So
I know.
I don't know why you or Misha, for that matter, or me and Kim, I don't know how we did it. But all I know is this: everybody seems to be on the upswing now. Brian's feeling better. The world's healing.
Got it.
Yeah, and then you and I will have explosive diarrhea for a month. It'll be fantastic. We'll see how that goes. It's good to have you here. It was really nice seeing you in Vegas. Everybody really loved hanging out. And I know soon here we'll have a video up where you talked to a bunch of people up on the wine floor.
I've got it ready. I need to put it in a little YouTube link.
Oh, you have it. Awesome. Okay.
I do, yeah. KT Data just sent it to me, and I just was watching it before we started, and man, I move a lot when I talk. Okay, that's all.
I think that is what is that? That's just the thing everybody does. They get on the spot.
Thing.
Yeah. Maybe one day we'll do a whole episode on why we gesticulate so much as humans when we talk.
Yeah.
And why is it worse when it's pressure? Like if it's a room full of people you're teaching, why is it much more of this? And
I just want to know where to get one of those sweet visual sand timers, those like that digital blue sand timer. That's what I want.
Oh,
that thing was cool. I loved how it breathed. It was breathing.
Yes, it pulsed. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Logan, if you're in the chat, could you put a link to how you bought that?
Yeah, where'd you get that? Logan holding out on us?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Logan
He's a real
play?
meditator, so he uses it.
Did you see him last year play the arcade games? Because he was our winner was it last year he won? Or did he win last year? Yeah.
Yes, it was last year that he won.
He is the funniest arcade player you'll ever watch his face. He needs to meditate after that because, my God, he's just, I've never seen anybody. Yeah, absolutely wild. Well,
so who won this year? I actually don't think I know.
Who was it, Brian? I don't remember.
Juicy won this year.
Juicy won.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's right.
Beat Shelly at the very end on a game that they were both brand new to, that Tubin game.
Oh,
they had never, either of them had played Tubin?
No, they had both played that game for the first time that day at
that's awesome.
At Player One. They decided, let's just go with the cleanest slate possible. But
Tubin's awesome.
Shelly didn't know that she needed to go through all those gates. She was trying to go around them and pick up cans and things like that to throw at Ducey's tube. And he was just zipping right through the gates, and that gave him the speed timer and all that stuff.
Walked away with the big prize this year. So there you have it.
Yep.
And COVID.
Good for him. He deserves a win.
Yeah, he does. Especially after all those losses he's been taking. I don't know what that means. All right, hey.
Pickleball losses.
Oh, pickleball losses. There you go.
No, he didn't lose. No, I meant he's just, it's Freudenfreud, which is made up, but it's the opposite of Schadenfreude. You're excited when someone has something good happen.
Is that right?
Freud?
You should coin that. I like it. Freudenfreud.
Yeah. It sounds like the law firm.
Yeah, the law firm of Freudenfreud.
Have you been injured in an accident and people are really happy about it? Come to Freudenfreud.
People are really sad for you. It's where you like a person, you want them to succeed, as opposed to Schadenfreude.
Well, we all feel that way about Ducey, so we concur.
Yes.
All right, we're going to get to our email this week. It is a Therapy Thursday. It's where we do a little therapy for you fine folks at home. This email came to us from someone we will refer to as D, and their subject was coping with the loss of a dream, which was very intriguing when I first saw it. And I sent this to Wendi. She's like, yep, we're doing this. So here we go. Dear Scott, Brian, and Wendi, longtime listener, first-time therapy emailer. Hopefully this lands in the right place and maybe sparks discussion on the show. If shared, I'd like to go by D. Well, we got you covered there. There's often talk about parenting on the show, and while I'm not asking for that to change, I'd appreciate advice on managing the pain I feel when I hear those stories. Maybe others out there feel the same. Since I was 16, my dream was to be a father, to do better than my own divorced parents, to guide a child through life and experience that journey. At 40, I married a woman I loved. Before the proposal, she said, if you want kids, you better propose soon. But after we married, she changed her mind due to family rumors about her father, and I mourned the loss of that dream. Years later, she changed her mind again, and we tried for 2 years naturally and through 3 rounds of IVF with no success. That second loss crushed me. I fell into depression. Our relationship turned abusive and eventually ended in divorce. I later realized I hadn't supported her through our shared grief as she needed. That regret lingers as well. Now I struggle with the sense that I lost myself or let myself and my future family down. How do I cope with losing such a lifelong dream? Stories about parenting, both joyful and painful, always hits hard, making me feel like I have missed on one of life's greatest experiences. I've thought about the adoption or fostering, but my current one-bedroom rental isn't ideal, and I feel I need to work through this grief before bringing a child into my life. Any advice on processing this kind of loss would mean a lot. Thank you to all three of you. Every show, every therapy session has made me or helped me in some way. I appreciate you more than I can say. Warmly, says D. All right. Yeah, this is hard to remember sometimes, but when we're on here doing this segment and it's an email about, oh yeah, my son is doing good, and then one of us will have a story. Well, Tristan did this or Nick did that. You forget that there are people listening potentially that's going to just kind of burn a little bit because maybe they can't have that or won't or physically can't or stuff just didn't work out or whatever. So first of all, I just wanted to say we try to be sensitive to those things, and I apologize for anyone who's ever, feeling a little left out when we talk about that stuff.
You get those messages all the time around Mother's Day and Father's Day too from companies who do stuff that say, hey, hit this button if you want to opt out of all of our Mother's Day messages because, you don't want to look at Mother's Day things for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, Wendi, what do you want to do with this one? Where do you want to go?
Yeah, it's tricky. The desire. Well, okay, and maybe to have everyone relate to this. I think this is a really not uncommon. And then you're sort of surrounded by people talking in their various stages and ways they do about things. So you may have somebody who absolutely just does not want to have children and talks about it all the time to you or posts about it all the time. And, they're in your periphery and you're just like, they can and they don't want one. And I want one and I can't. It feels, it's really painful. So I would start with, at various stages of our lives when we're grieving, or think of it as like the button or the trigger for you is pretty raw. We naturally will do this. We will stop maybe following a person who's going to just talk about baby gear or something like
Sure.
Stop putting ourselves in the path of that. That can be tricky on relationships. And, sometimes you may have to say to somebody, hey, this is a sore subject for me right now. So it's kind of twofold. One is kind of protect yourself a little bit. And then the other is what we'll get to is a way to help here, which is things need to be grieved.
Yeah.
And worked through rather than often what we do is we just let something kind of fester by avoiding. So the two-pronged thing. So I just want to start with the first one. So I want everyone to relate to this. What is the thing, as you're listening to me right now, what is the thing for you that if someone talked about a lot brings up sadness, loss, grief? It could be Mother's Day, it could be Father's Day, it could be kids, no kids, it could be, maybe you're a professional baseball player and you're now not, it could be every time the Dodgers is brought up or something. Like you may have a variety of things. I just want everyone to kind of channel that for just a moment. Right? So we're all relating to this thing. And I don't know if anyone can in the chat or you two could offer something, but what does it make you want to do when we pay attention and focus on, I don't have what someone else has and they're bragging about it, or someone keeps bringing up this thing, or I keep getting notifications, or freaking Mother's and Father's Day comes every year, whatever it is. So do you guys have one, first of all, something that can sort of...
Yeah, I have a career one.
Okay. You don't have to tell us about it.
Okay.
What I want to know is what is the feeling that comes next or the thought or feeling that comes next as you...
Were you here in Utah when the nieces were having the baby conversation? Just curious if you were here for that. I can't remember if you were at that dinner. Okay. We kind of had this exact thing happen. I won't use names here, but one of the nieces who's, having a load of babies and one of the nieces who can't right now. Also, I think one of them experienced a miscarriage, or a couple of them, and one of them was just going on and on and on about how great and easy, and this is the age to do it, and if we don't, we'll all age out, so we got to start now before we're in our 30s or whatever. All this kind of talk, and the whole time I'm sitting there going, like, even I'm noticing this. I'm going, oh no, we shouldn't be doing this. Like, look at her face. You can see this is not good. So that's what this reminded me of. But I don't have any that. I feel I don't know how to feel, but I feel a little guilty about this. I don't feel like I have this in a family way. I don't have any big regrets. Like, but I do have a career one. Brian, do you have, what's yours without also explaining what you have?
I know. I'm trying to think. I know I've got stuff like this. I've got a co-host that keeps talking about how happy he is that he's healthy after driving back from.
What an ass! That guy's such an ass.
He just won't shut up about it.
He just can't let it go. I don't know what his deal is.
I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. Yeah. I mean, I know that there's something like that. And I can't think of what it is.
It's hard to. I don't know. It's hard to pinpoint a personal one, isn't it? It's like,
yeah, it really is.
Well, and I'm guessing if I asked you, find one from the past, it's a little easier to find one.
Oh, yeah.
Because as you age, some of this gets easier. Because if it's pre-kids and you want kids and now you have kids, well, that button's gone, right?
Yeah.
It could be, my kid's a doctor or whatever. And you're like,
financial stuff, like, hearing people in the backseat when I'm driving them around talking about, oh yeah, well, we just got back from a trip to Turks and St. Caicos, and we're doing another trip out to, Côte d'Azur or whatever. It's like, okay, all right.
Yeah.
And
that's a good one.
With you.
And better tip.
Yeah. Yeah, you better tip like you got money back there.
Exactly, yeah.
Right.
Damn.
Okay.
There's a
So
little bit of jealousy that I get when that goes on.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that was my question. What's the feeling that comes when you think about it?
It's definitely like some jealousy of like, okay, all right. What did you, what fortunate situation did you land in that I have not landed in? And this can all be from working hard.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
yeah,
right.
I do that sometimes. I could see that. Like for me, it's more like it kind of goes with my career one, but there was a pinpoint in time very early in the internet sort of age of suddenly people can create things and put them on the internet that I feel like I just didn't recognize the whole the wide open shot that was mine to take, and I just, because we were all new to it, I didn't really know. I'm talking like late 90s, early 2000s here, and I just to this day always feel like if I just would have known where it was headed, I could have done this, started here, and I could have been the biggest thing there in that thing, and it would have been just like the perfect time. I don't know why I sometimes obsess about that, because there's this brief window at that point where those who got it, and those who didn't, and some got lucky. And I just felt like I should have been smart enough to know what to jump at. And that, I don't know why it bugs me so bad, but it does.
Okay, so if someone came along and was bragging about that, they jumped in at the right time, you'd be like,
yeah, okay. That would bug me.
So jealousy is kind of a word. Is there any other emotional words? Anyone in the chat have any they can throw in of like what responses you have internally when these buttons get pushed for you?
Oh gosh, let's see.
We have jealousy.
We got similar things. Start early enough. That's Travis. He's feeling that a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, the rest of you are being kind of quiet about this. They're not exposing.
Because it's
themselves.
hard. Nobody wants to be talking. Because what it does is, and this is why I don't want anyone to tell their story necessarily, is it just reveals the thing you have it's sticky and probably needs a little work. And
here's a good one that kind of relates a little. I won't use his name, just I don't know if he wants us to, but he says, we had a really tough year with my first kid and my wife had postpartum depression. It's still hard for me to find joy in other people's perfect, in quotes, births. Yeah, I think that's a thing where people are like, I was glowing the whole 9 months. And
right.
And then people with swollen feet and issues. It's like, oh man. Yeah, that's a good one. Right.
And your kid seems like you have the real going on, and there is the happy. Look how perfect our family is real, and that is Yeah, really annoying. And social media has quadrupled this for everyone, right? This existed before, right? It always has a little bit, but there's nothing like a curated, pixelated version of perfection in your face.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. I'm going to throw in some words since this is tricky for people. All right. So jealousy, it could be, I mean, I'm not going to speak for D here, but I'm assuming you're seeing crappy parents left and right and thinking, are you kidding me? Like, I could do this. I'd be freaking awesome at this. And so that's hard. That's hard to, feel like, why not me? Why everybody else gets to do this thing, especially if they don't even want it, or some version of that. Yeah. So it could feel like spite or resentful, or you could start getting a little bitter. There's lots of places this goes, this sense. So we'll talk specifically about the children thing. I mean, this one is, this one has a time clock on it. It's kind of like yours does, Scott, a little bit. It's like too late,
Yeah.
And that can just feel more and more and more stressful. And so I've spent a lot of time working with clients who want children really badly and are unable or not partnered and don't want to do it without a partner, whatever the story is. And so what I found, especially if they're, women in their 30s, that when they freeze their eggs, this is often a choice they make. They'll freeze their eggs hoping that one day, and what it does is just calms them down significantly, right? Because they're giving themselves more hope, because it's like a clock that's just stressful. Think of any time a clock is used to stress people out. This is it, and it's really hard. And so what do you do during that time? So it sounds like, okay, he's always wanted to be a dad, wants to do it better than his parents did, and marries someone thinking this is the thing. Yeah. The fact that she said, if you want kids, you better propose soon. Oof.
Right.
That's rough.
That is rough.
And then they try, right? They're trying. And 3 rounds of IVF, that is nothing. And, things got rough. And that's because it is really difficult on a relationship to go through fertility.
You know what I just realized too? I don't know if this is too early to apologize for something I've just said, but I just realized I'm saying, in my career example, talking about miss shots or something, I still managed to make a cool podcast network and media thing that I'm very proud of and is successful, and I'm never going back. And I did the thing I wanted to do. So there are people hearing hearing me say the other thing and going, well, oh, fine.
Shut up.
I can't even get 100 listeners from I promise you, this is the thing I'm actually trying to be better at, but I'm not trying to. I don't want more people to feel bad today because of that stupid thing. Oh, poor me. I didn't notice one thing in 2001 that I could have taken advantage of. So anyway,
I do love, though, this is a great example of Scott when at TMS Live, when you gave me the final award for like having a cult-led meeting in a penthouse.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I've had a couple people since say to me, like, that's funny coming from your brother who literally has a cult. So don't be I'm not a cult leader. You are. And it's that idea of like, you can't quite appreciate what you do have sometimes until you stop and really do look at it. Like really look at where I'm at. So this is what I want. You skipped to the good bit, Scott, and I'm so you're right on track. And so I'll just skip there really quick, which is D, your life, you need to look at it, right? See what is good. And I don't know the age at this point, 40 something, right? I don't know if you've heard of some of these celebrities who have kids in their 80s, but maybe there's time.
Al Pacino, anyway, one of them.
Yeah, that's right. He just had one recently, and I guess also De Niro tends to do this too. He has old.
Right.
Oh, maybe De Niro was recent.
I think I think they both are like in their 80s and have kids under 5.
Yes.
And I know. Nuts. Listen, I know. I can pass out some phone numbers. Just kidding. Of women who have frozen their eggs. There are so many ready to do this, make this happen. Right? I have a spreadsheet. So many frozen eggs. Because there is plenty of people also in this same boat, right? And want this. Sure. And he wrote something interesting. He says, now I struggle with the sense that I let myself and my future family down. Mm-hmm. And that framing might need a little reframing. And so I would recommend, if I had my druthers, you talk to someone about that and look at how you can reframe that, because your life is not over. And you do need to grieve what wasn't, right?
Right.
And any regrets people do have, often, like if regrets were written on tombstones, that would make the graveyard way more fun to walk through. Right?
That would.
You would totally learn, like, whoa, they regret that, and that. That would be pretty fascinating, right?
It would be, because then you'd be like, oh my God, I regret not doing that too. I never even thought about that. Or
right, now I got a new list. Dang it.
Some insight into who they are.
Yeah.
And so to move past regret while you're still alive and healthy and have another shot at a relationship and maybe children, or at least some other versions of making life better for kids, like that exists, right? Adoption, fostering, maybe you're not in your one-room rental at the moment in a position to do this, but there is absolutely, the sentence I love the most is to bring, where does it? I feel I need to work through this grief before bringing a child into life. Yeah, you got to do that. That's for sure.
For sure. You got to work.
But also,
this is that whole like fix your own mask before you worry about the person next to you on the airplane.
Yes, 100%.
Which sounds so.
And
sometimes that's so unintuitive, right? Because if you're sitting next to a little kid, you're like, "I've lived a long life. You need the oxygen." It's counterintuitive. Yeah, it's so weird.
But in the middle of it, you pass out, and there we are. And I read this, actually, when I read it quickly, I put joyful down where I need to bring joy to a child in my life. And so I mix the words up, but I actually think that's a really important point. Like, if keeping track of grieving what you need to grieve and keeping track of what is it you actually really want here. Mm-hmm. Because what you may think you want it's not coming. Yeah. Or it's not going to look that way. And everybody, right now, look backwards into your life. Would you have predicted you would be here in this moment? Good or bad? Positive or negative?
No,
when you were
not really.
15 years old, any guesses that you would, have streaming video in your hands?
Well, probably not that. Yeah, definitely not
right?
that.
So
but
you're nowhere near anything you could have imagined. But is some of that, can you imagine? Would you have imagined this?
I mean, I knew I wanted, like, for example, on the family front, I think I knew I wanted a family one day, but I didn't know what that looked like. I didn't know when it would be. I figured I'd get married way later than I did. Like, I had all these ideas of what that was like or what it would be, and it really is. It's none of that. So I was wrong about most of it. But the core desire was there. I just didn't know. Yeah. But whatever images I had at 15 of what that world was is not what I ended up with. Not even close. Yeah. Was that like for you, Brian? Because you and I grew up in the same era and all that. Did you picture you and Tina and the life you'd have, or?
Not at all. No. I mean, I did as soon as I met her. I said, "Oh yeah, this is the woman." Well, actually, I didn't when I first met her. We were just friends for a long time, and it wasn't until one Christmas break that she and I both independently reached out to the same person and said, "Has Tina ever said anything about me on a romantic standpoint?" And she was doing the same thing that same weekend.
Nice.
Asking.
That's so cute.
I love that. That's great.
So, that was the moment where, like, okay, this is the person we're going to be with for the rest of our lives. And but prior to that, no, hadn't visualized any of that with her or anybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, if you have no vision of it, then you're just like, oh, here's life. But if you have, your vision board since 13 and you have, this is the plan and how it'll work, it's going to be a lot harder. Yeah. Because it's going to change a lot. And so I would recommend, I don't know if Dee's done that, but he's 16, wants to be a dad. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so life is one shot. And so how to make that happen? There's both a version of like grieving the loss of what isn't, and then, figuring out how to make your life what you want it to be. We can't always predict, we can't control everything, and we can't control other people, right? But we can put ourselves in positions and places where things could improve or change or have an option, right? So nobody just magically adopts usually. You usually have to go through some paperwork and background checks and some other things, right? You have to make some effort to have the dream. So, but like Dee said, before bringing a child into your life, you've got to grieve and go through the work of grieving and burying and letting go this previous vision.
Right.
And then things open up. It's kind of the magical part of life that you can't quite understand or don't know how to make happen sometimes. But
there is an order
least,
that has to, these things have to happen, and you've got to get yourself right with yourself, and not get yourself right for being a future parent, but get yourself right with yourself.
There you go.
And then everything else will slowly fall into place.
Right. Yeah. And then be open to all the ways that parenting or caring for kids or improving their lives opens up to you. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what Dee does for work, but maybe it's totally unrelated to all things children, and that's totally fine. Maybe it's not, I don't know. But is there a place in your community or in your life or in your extended family or friends' kids, or like, how can you be, I'm telling you, I have at least 15 coaching jobs available to you in a community everywhere, which is like, please, we need someone to coach this team. Please, we need someone to help here. There's a lot of chances to be, have some of that natural fathering tendency go somewhere. Yeah. I'm telling you, the thing we have not enough of is good dads. Mm-hmm. And so, that might be frustrating also to hear, because you're like, yeah, I know, just give me a kid.
Yeah. They're kind of like, there's a sense of like, well, that's not the same, but it can be really rewarding. Like uncles and aunts. Yeah. In the right context can be just like the most important people in some of these kids' lives. In fact, and you can serve roles there that the parents can't even serve, in terms of like trust, or I need to come talk, or I'm afraid to tell my parents this, I need support. Those kinds of things happen with nieces, nephews, and that's a really wonderful kind of parenting. It's not the same, but it's a kind of that. No. And it can be really rewarding, I think, for a lot of people.
And this is so not scientific. So everyone with science backgrounds, pull yours.
Yeah, Bobby. Bobby's not listening now. Go ahead. You're good.
Bobby and Nikki, close your eyes.
Yep.
This, like, boiling water. When you want a pot of water to boil and you watch it, what happens?
It takes forever.
It still boils.
It still boils. Right.
Never boils. Never.
That's right. It still boils.
It's
that is science.
The watched pot never boils. Bullshit. Of course, it's going to boil the same amount of time.
I mean, it does.
It's your perception of it.
Yeah, your perception.
Yes, your perception is
Yeah. I love that.
You walk away and do something else. Come back. It's boiling, right? Exactly. I have watched this happen over and over and over and over and over with people when they are. I am so desperate to marry, or I'm so desperate to find my person, and we work on all of the putting the mask on yourself things.
Yeah.
Like, let's heal this wound and this giant father-shaped hole in your heart and this abandonment issue, and we start to do all of that work, and they are finding themselves. Then it just happens over and over. The right person comes along, and you say that, but it's actually they attract the right person at that point. And so there is something about that that's a little magical about not staring down fatherhood as the end goal, but figuring out these other aspects of your life with an openness to when fathering options arise,
Sure.
Good dad, good guy vibes we need. And so, yeah, I would highly recommend active grieving on these various parts, and maybe finding someone to talk through with this stuff with you, so you can see, people are, we're good at doing this with one another, but it's risky sometimes of like seeing, oh man, this pattern, here we are, 7th round. And you're like, wait, what? We're just, our self-awareness is tricky when it comes to sometimes our patterns. So having a neutral professional would be helpful to just help you grieve and see where, certain things are getting in your way in terms of progression. It's a brave email. I really appreciate it, because it's really hard to admit that stuff, because you're like, I'm supposed to be happy for all these freaking parents, or, and we're all doing a version of this a little bit.
Sure.
I don't think different phases.
I think it's hard to avoid, and some aspect of your life, there's going to be this thing, even if it's down to just like, my neighbor's sprinkler system didn't break, but mine did.
Right.
That's kind of dumb and surface level, but it's still this feeling of like, oh, great for you with your perfect sprinklers over there.
Yeah. Must be nice.
Right. Yeah. Must be nice to have those pipes.
And children are so forever, right? Like you can talk about that endlessly. And so it's not like your friend who became a parent comes back and is like, hangs out with you again. They change.
Yeah.
And so that loss can be all sorts of places. So I would make a loss inventory. What are all the things you feel like you've lost, in the plan for your life, and how can we find some peace with putting some of those expectations in the ground, and those hurts and those pains, they get worked through.
Yeah.
And on the other side is a life, and that's the beauty of it, and the hard thing, because we get really comfortable sometimes with, if it's years and years and years of feeling something, and this ticking clock,
clicking clock,
makes it so much harder too, right? Because you're just when we get panicked, we're not in our best head. So I'd advise some processing, which I think go a long way.
I think something came up this week. It's not necessarily related, but it kind of is. And I thought of you, and I just had to get it out of me. So it occurred to me, oftentimes when things are a little bit fishy in public or whatever, or in a national viewpoint, there are people that like to bring up that Fred Rogers quote about "look for the helpers," and it's supposed to comfort people to say, "Well, yeah, as bad as it seems, look at all the people that are actually helping, and look for them, and now you feel good." And it hit me like a ton of bricks. I'm sure I'm not the first person, but it hit me that he's not talking to us. He was talking to children. And he was talking about us as the helpers. He's not saying to these kids, look for other people like you. He's saying, no, look for the strong adults in your life that can make a difference, because they're the ones out looking out for your best interest. He wasn't talking to us to make adults feel better in our little white lives. That wasn't it. It was look for the helpers. And then the lesson is, we're the ones. We're the helpers. We're the ones that are supposed to lead the way, have the kids follow.
Supposed to be anyway.
We're supposed to be. Exactly. So anyway, it reminded me of that, because you're talking about maybe stuff that he could do, coaching or some other stuff that might be that way. But those are the helpers we're talking about. Those are the people we need more in this world, and he can be one of those,
Yeah, absolutely. And he can also still maybe be a father. The story's not done, and that's hard too, right? I think if you talk to anyone with fertility struggles, it's just this hope that is so hard to lay at rest until there really is evidence that it's laid at rest, and then some grieving can happen. And so it's kind of midstream a little, and that's, further towards the end of the stream, and that's hard. That's a hard place to be. So I would really reach out to, your support system. I mean, I would ask Dee, who can you talk to about this on the regular? Because it's possible it's just never been processed at all. Because this is awkward, with your, playing darts at the bar with some buddies, and you're like, can I talk about fertility again? Yeah, do it. That's maybe not happening, and it needs to. It needs to be processed, because it is so foundational to the life that you wanted. And so to be really kind to yourself here, I think you need to also realize it's important and important to have a safe way to communicate this, right? And we can fill in the blank with a bunch of other lost dreams for people. This one is just particularly tough because kids are everywhere, and there's lots of chat about stuff, and it just can be really relentless. And you're seeing a pregnant lady in public, or you see a dad act like a doofus, and you're like, no, it's hard. Pretty triggering.
A lot of doofus dads out there, man.
Oh, many doofus dads.
No shortage.
Yeah, the big DD.
Right.
Well, all right then. This is great. Dee, let us know how things go. We hope you that this was helpful, and I'm glad that the previous episodes have helped you a lot as well. Wendi, anything you want to mention before you go?
I do. I would like everyone to go to knowbetteryou.com and check out the time mastery course. That's what we shared when we were in Vegas. There's also a free, I like to do a little free thing with stuff. I will put a link in the chat really quick, but it's just the how to stop procrastinating.
Oh,
no one ever has that problem.
No, piece of cake.
So I sent that along to you, but you can download that for free, and the Time Mastery course, you can read all about it there. We'd love to have you. It starts June 2nd. And what's awesome, and I think I said this in the video, but when I get the video rendered out, I will send a link out too so people can see it. But is that I've been using all of these time mastery skills to get this thing done.
I love it. So that's the
so great.
thing. Yeah. Use
and it freaking works.
Use the
people.
recipe to create the thing
works.
that you demonstrate with.
That's right.
It does.
Yeah.
And one thing I just want to note that's very kind. We have some generous folks who have offered to help with scholarships, and so if money is tight and you want a little help, even if it's just a little bit, or you need help with the whole thing, please reach out to me directly.
Oh, nice.
And it's just hey@nobetteryou.com.
Nice.
And we'll talk it through.
Quick note, every time I look on the page and I see health and PE, that just reminds me of the 2 classes I will slough to play at the arcade this afternoon. That feels like those are the 2 classes I can get away with skipping, and I'll be at the Cottonwood Mall until 2.
And it's not a problem.
No.
But your time mastery, please don't skip.
No, do not skip that, guys. That's
do
a class
not come
you
late
need.
to that.
I'm all registered and signed up. I'm ready to do it. Yeah,
that's awesome.
I know. I didn't know if you wanted that revealed yet, Brian, but I'm so excited to have Brian because he's just regular people like everyone else. You guys don't be afraid.
People.
Yeah.
And also, literally every one of us could use help with time.
I suck at time management. I look over at Teen and I said, you are the one person I can think of that I know that does not need this. Like Teen is like, all right. It's 12:05. I'm done with lunch, Brian. I got to get back to work. It's like, wow, I want to sit and watch John Oliver. Okay, fine, sure.
Yeah, no.
Fine. Way to ruin my vibe, harsh the vibe.
You and I are screwed without our wives with the time.
We
stuff.
are. We totally are.
Yeah.
Yes.
Put us on our own.
I recommend you.
Also,
take a time mastery course.
Wendy looks so scholarly in your new photo on the site. Look at her.
Look at that.
She's like a professor.
I am very scholarly.
Yeah.
You don't want to use the poker chip thing that I made for you, huh?
Your little animated Toothpaste.
Little poker chip gif.
Yeah, that was pretty great.
It was great. That was awesome.
Can I just say with the Taskville, that was so fun to do. I love Nicole. I just was also thinking, Brian, you gave a group of people, 4 of which are mothers, speaking of mothers,
sure,
to be quiet while they cook.
Right.
That is our dream.
It
our
is.
dream.
It's basically like you were talking about how, not waking up the baby. And I was thinking, not waking up the baby and making a Bloody Mary. That's kind of my growing up life. My own mom.
It's such a funny.
It was so fun.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't break 60 decibels once because we're like, we know how to be quiet around children.
And it's technically a cooking challenge, and I give that to Kim and you, who I know.
What were you thinking?
Yeah, and Kim's Bloody Mary, one of the best Bloody Marys I've ever tasted with a basic recipe.
Yeah, but not my bucket, not the bucket we made.
Yeah, why? And also,
not the 11 jiggers of tomato juice that you poured in the.
I mean, Wendy asked about 5 times that night, "What is wrong with you?" She kept saying to me. And
knife skills.
And I guess what I was overthinking
your knife skills were freaking me out.
Oh, well, that's true. Kim already complains about that, but I was so out of my own head or in my own head about the challenge that I was just like, it's got to have something more to do with this measuring thing. I have to be very careful about. It's so stupid now. I look back on it, but at the time it felt like Brian's gonna get me again. I got to think outside the box, and instead I was in a.
I didn't even mention. So back behind you, there was a can of SpaghettiOs, and on top of it was a deck of cards or a box of cards. Mm-hmm. For the vinegar task, if you would open up that box of cards, it would have had 11 aces, which hopefully would have gotten you to the 11th cup for the vinegar too.
Man, and I also didn't I pick up
You picked it up, yeah.
The what do you call it?
Oh, you picked up the pH test strips, which is the best one. Yeah.
That would have been the best thing to have.
SpaghettiOs for.
Well, nothing.
Oh gosh.
Just to throw you. See?
SpaghettiOs are just SpaghettiOs.
See, Brian's out to get us all. This is the thing.
Adult brings SpaghettiOs to Vegas.
Is that the can?
Yeah, this is the can, yeah.
You flew back with the can. I love it.
Hammond Chamberlain brought the SpaghettiOs to Vegas.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Maybe someday I'll tell you what was behind the SpaghettiOs, but not now.
Okay. So there was a reason. It wasn't that you're a grown man who only eats SpaghettiOs or something.
No.
Sounds like a Netflix true crime series, Behind the SpaghettiOs.
Behind the SpaghettiOs.
Can't wait to find out. Wendy, have a fantastic week. Glad you're feeling good, and may we all meet again at the fires of TMS next Thursday.
Yes.
Bye now. Oh, she did one of her quick. See, she does quick goodbyes too. She
does. She's very good at those.
It's in all of us. It's in all of us. It's in all of us. Is what I meant to say.
It's in all of us.
All right, guys. That's gonna do it for that bit there. We have to get out of here though. A couple things. Coverville at noon. twitch.tv/Coverville.
Right. The Alarm, Mike Peters, and Tenille, Captain and Tenille, both celebrated on today's show.
Nice. Then stick around for Core at 1 p.m. We've got news of not really leaked images, but images from an FCC filing of the handheld console co-created by Asus and the ROG team and Microsoft. Looks like it's really going to happen. You're going to get basically a Game Pass device. Don't know much more about it, but we're going to talk about that and a whole bunch more stuff on Core. So tune in for that at 1, frogpants.tv. And then Film Sack this weekend. Join us for G.I. Joe and the Rise of Cobra.
Real American hero.
Yeah. And then Brian reminded me who Cobra is, and I kind of am pissed. I hate it.
I'm bummed that I said something because apparently that's I watched it yesterday. It's an important plot.
Oh, is it like a plot point? I've seen the movie in theaters, but I forgot all about that reveal, so I'm not too worried about it.
Sorry. When it comes to that point in the movie, you're gonna be like, "Oh, thanks, Brian."
Did this thing have Destro or no? The big metal guy? Can you tell me?
Do you want me to say?
Well,
do you want to be surprised?
You know what? I'll be surprised. I can't remember what they did. I've got no memory of it, which tells me it's not a great movie. But we'll see. We'll see.
That I will say. No, I won't say anything. We'll talk about Destro during Film Sack.
All right. We'll hold that one in. I do have a very vague memory that's for some reason. I can't think of his name all of a sudden. The Mummy, the Whale.
Vosloo.
No.
Arnold Vosloo.
No.
Oh, Brendan Fraser.
Brendan Fraser shows up in this. Am I right about that?
He does.
Okay.
A non-credited cameo.
Why I remember that, I couldn't tell you. I don't remember anything else about that movie. Anyway.
Right.
Well, that'll be this weekend, so check that out. Lots of shows, lots of stuff. Oh, and a skim tomorrow after TMS Friday. So there will be a TMS Friday. That'll be tomorrow. And then when that ends at around noon, Kim and I will do a thing. And then when that ends, I'll watch Film Sack. And when that ends, who knows what'll happen? I don't know. You'll have to tune in and find out.
Exactly.
All right, it's going to do it for us. Thanks for listening, everybody. Frogpants.com/TMS is the website. You need a song to take you home. What do you got?
I do. Well, Dan Newcomb, we talked about him earlier in the show. Dan wrote in and said, "Hello, Scott and Brian. On the 8th, that's today, I'll be hitting one of the birthdays with a 5 in the front, and it took me 4 weeks to remember to send this at a time that I wasn't driving. I would love to hear Caroline Riley's cover of Kesha's Die Young. Caroline is a local Atlanta pop punk artist and a friend of my daughter, and I would love to see her get some wider exposure. If you want to play one of her original songs for In the Middle, that would be awesome, but she has a bit of a potty mouth in those. Thanks for the years of entertainment. I hope it's not too early to test the ship's bacon cheddar sausage."
Never too early. So let's see if we can do that. Too early to get a fish sandwich. Okay, here we go. No, that's not it. No, that's not it.
Hey, it's too early to get a fish sandwich.
Then this one.
Let's test the ship's phasers.
Then this one.
The tender crisp bacon cheddar ranch.
And then for no reason.
I buried him.
All right, there you go.
Oh, I haven't heard that one in a while.
Yeah.
I have the poker chip or the challenge coin from Mike of that one too.
Oh, I love those things. They're so great.
Hybrid.
So great. Really are. You guys should see all these chips we got. They're like they're never going to do these again. They're like this one-time thing, and we're hoarding them. We're not giving anyone these.
Yes, exactly.
So F off.
All right, so Dan Newcomb said it right there. Caroline Riley's cover of Die Young, originally by Kesha. This is a single that she released this year, and it's great. And the fact that she's a friend of your daughter's is even cooler because this adds such a hard edge to the song that I really, really like. Here is Caroline Riley and Die Young.
Hello, I'm a tailor, and your pant size is frog. You're always welcome at frogpants.com.